The 5 essentials in Islam. These necessities are religion, life, intellect, lineage, and wealth. All the divine messages that came from the one God, Allah Almighty, have agreed on preserving these necessities, as God Almighty told us in His holy book, the Quran, the last of the books revealed from heaven, whose preservation God has guaranteed. Let us delve into the importance of these 5 necessities for life and humanity, and how Islam, the religion of God revealed to humankind from Adam until now, has urged their preservation. Islam, not as ritual, but as a human rights and civilization framework. What if I told you that Islam, often reduced to headlines about prayer and fasting, actually begins with a different question entirely? Not how do you worship, but what must be protected at all costs. Every civilization, every legal system, every ethical philosophy ultimately tries to answer that question. For some, it's property. For others, it's liberty. For Islam, it's 5 necessities which are the core of human life. I'll try to present the 5 essentials in Islam, the non-negotiable foundations that protect human dignity, enable justice, and surprisingly align with the deepest values of the modern world. Necessity number 1, protection of religion, hifth al-Din. The first essential Islam guards is the freedom of religious belief. Yes, you heard that correctly. The Quran states clearly, there is no compulsion in religion. Forced faith is no faith at all. Islam protects every person's right to seek truth, to believe, or even to disbelieve without persecution. Islam upholds the principle of freedom of belief and the seriousness of belief. Islam did that to protect sincerity. Necessity number 2, protection of life, hifth al-nafs. The second essential is the sanctity of human life. In Islam, taking one innocent life is equivalent to destroying all of humanity. Quran 5:32. This isn't poetry, it's a legal axiom. Islamic law forbids murder, euthanasia, suicide, and unjust warfare. But it goes further. Islam mandates preserving life through medical care, food security, and even environmental protection. Analogy. Think of life as a sacred text. You don't erase a single letter without cosmic consequence. Contemporary relevance? Islam prohibits abortion except to save the mother's life. It prohibits capital punishment except for proven murder or extreme corruption. It even allows breaking the fast of Ramadan if fasting threatens your health. In Islamic law, necessity permits what is forbidden, and nothing is more important than preserving human life. Mercy precedes ritual. We hear dangerous racist cries in the West talking about the golden billion. Well, the Quran says, whoever kills a soul, unless for a soul or for corruption done in the land, it is as if he had killed all of mankind. And whoever saves one, it is as if he had saved all of mankind. Reflection question. What would your ideal society protect first? Wealth, status, or life itself? Islam chooses life, unequivocally. Necessity number 3. Protection of intellect, hifth al-aql. The third essential. Islam mandates the protection of human intellect, and that means prohibition of anything that clouds reason, specifically alcohol and intoxicants. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, a large amount of it is intoxicating, and a small amount is forbidden. An intoxicated society cannot distinguish truth from falsehood, justice from oppression. Historical fact. During the golden age of Islam, 8th to 13th centuries, while Europe was in the Dark Ages, Muslim civilizations translated Greek philosophy, founded the first universities, invented algebra, and advanced medicine because they valued sobriety of mind. Universal value. Today, we face an epidemic of distraction, misinformation, and addictive algorithms. Islam's prohibition of intoxicants isn't just about alcohol. It's a call to protect cognitive liberty, the ability to think clearly, critically, and freely. If you cannot trust your own mind, what can you trust? That's why Islam places intellect just behind life itself in priority. Note, this is not anti-pleasure. Islam permits many lawful enjoyments, but it says,
Do not trade your reason for temporary escape. The sober mind is closer to the divine.
Necessity number 4. Protection of lineage. Hifz al-Nasl. The fourth essential is the preservation of family and lineage. Islam considers the family unit the bedrock of a stable, compassionate society. This translates into clear ethics. Marriage is encouraged. Adultery and fornication are prohibited, not as Puritanism, but as a system to ensure that every child knows their parents, inherits their rights, and grows up with emotional security. Society should be pure and reject vice. But let's be nuanced. Islam does not reject love or sexuality. Islam channels them into a committed, legal, and merciful framework. And critically, Islam protects the rights of children to identity, inheritance, care, and dignity, even if the parents separate. Contemporary relevance. We live in an era of fatherlessness, family fragmentation, and generational trauma. Islam says, before you build a skyscraper, build a home. Without stable lineage, children suffer. Without children's rights, justice is hollow. For the educated viewer, anthropologists agree intact families produce the most resilient societies. Islam codified that insight 1,400 years ago. It's not anti-progress, it's anti-neglect. Reflection. What is more essential, your career trajectory or your child's sense of belonging? Islam answers, both matters, but lineage, your human legacy, is sacred. Necessity number 5. Protection of wealth. Hifz al-Mal. The fifth essential is the protection of wealth, not as greed, but as a trust. Islam recognizes that financial security is necessary for dignity, shelter, and community contribution. But here's the twist. Wealth is protected only when earned justly and spent righteously. Theft, fraud, usury, riba, bribery, gambling, and exploitation are all major sins. Zakat, mandatory charity, is the mechanism to purify wealth. For the intellectual, modern capitalism separates wealth from ethics. Islam refuses that separation. Your bank account is a moral document. How you earned it, how you spent it, these are religious questions. Contemporary relevance? We see wealth inequality, climate destruction driven by profit, and consumer debt traps. Islam's protection of wealth includes prohibiting interest-based loans that enslave the poor and encouraging ethical investment, transparency, cooperation, and generosity. Islamic principle? Wealth is not evil. Hoarding wealth is. Islam says you will be asked about your wealth, where you acquired it, and where you spent it. Relevance. Connecting the 5 essentials to modern life. Islam's 5 essentials, religion, life, intellect, lineage, and wealth, are not random. They form a hierarchy of human dignity. 1. Religion, freedom of conscience. 2. Life, the right to exist. 3. Intellect, the right to reason. 4. Lineage, the right to family and identity. 5. Wealth, the right to economic justice. Any society that violates any of these is by Islamic definition unjust. Any individual who harms these in others is by Islamic definition sinful. For the educated youth, you've studied human rights charters, the UN Declaration, John Rawls' theory of justice. What you may not know is that Islam articulated this hierarchy of necessities over a millennium ago, not as philosophy, but as divine law. This is why converts often say, I didn't find Islam restrictive, I found it liberating. Because when a system protects your mind, your family, your wealth, and your right to believe, you are free to flourish. If you have listened this far, you are not a casual viewer. You are a seeker. And that is the most honorable position a human being can occupy. If you want more about that, then 1. Read the translation of the Quran's 30th chapter, short chapters on purpose and mercy. 2. Research Maqāṣid al-Sharīʿah, the higher objectives of Islamic law, this very topic we discussed. 3.
Speak to a Muslim academic or a convert from a similar intellectual background. Ask them, does Islam truly protect these 5 essentials in practice? You will find failures, Muslims who have violated these principles. But distinguish between the faith and the followers. The Quran criticizes hypocrites and oppressors. Final gentle invitation. If you find that Islam's essentials align with your deepest values, justice, reason, compassion, and freedom, then consider that this might be truth. And truth, once recognized, deserves a response. Assalamu alaikum.